Franklin and Bash Season 4, Episode 3, Love is the Drug. I definitely enjoyed this episode. We got some really funny moments. I think a lot of them really came from Jared in this one, and really his interaction with some of the other characters, mostly the side characters, because I feel like we got a lot more of them in this episode. We didn't get the new girl in this one, and that gave us time to get more out of the private investigator character, who, and this one seems like he's just like a government spy or something. He does all sorts of weird illegal stuff in this episode, and also the woman that Jared has feelings for, and him trying to say stuff to her and her just being really professional about it. But I really enjoyed this episode. It was funny. I liked the case that they had. I love the guy that they had, who they were just trying to keep him in a box and try to be like, hey, you have to act this way. You can't just like go nuts like that. And it was funny how they, every time the girl came into court and he saw her, they played the same song over and over. So I really loved that. I thought that was really funny. The tactics weren't insanely over the top. I still enjoyed the case that they had, their main case. The other side of the story, the stuff with Infeld, kind of losing his crap in this one. I actually enjoyed that he like sucker punched the owner of the restaurant in the face. Then they were having that weird bout, and then they agreed on the fight, or I guess on a punch. And then he gets punched in the gut by Mike Tyson, and then Jared once again does something silly in this episode, and he punched Mike Tyson. But overall, I thought it was a funny episode. Like I said, I really thought Jared had a lot of the funny moments. He just happened to have all the interactions, and I think it's really because the woman who came from the other firm, he has feelings for her, so that's really what led to most of the silly stuff happening. It was either him being with her or him with Dano Danimal D Train, and just the weird confrontation they had when he's like, that's not what I'm saying. He's like, yeah, I'm not hearing you either, and he walks off. But overall, I definitely enjoyed this episode. It was funny. Good to see Infeld come back. He's sort of like, of course, he was off in this episode. He wasn't his normal calm self and serene and stuff like that. He came in the beginning when they were having the sort of party meeting in the beginning and keeping things light and fun. And he talks about how he has to be this stern leader because you can't just have fun and stuff like that, even though it was technically working. But it'll be good to see him come back in next week's episode. I think that's when we'll really get to see him come back, or maybe the week after. I don't know. It could take some time. His reputation is still fairly low after the stuff that happened, even though he wasn't responsible. So, we'll have to see how things go with him. But I'm sure he'll be back on top at, really soon in the season, and we'll get to see him get some cases, and they won't have to scrounge for people and worry about dining clients and things like that. So I'm excited for what we're going to be getting in the rest of the season, but I definitely enjoyed this episode. It was really funny. Silly moment with Mike Tyson and Jared punching him, and Jared just doing all sorts of silly stuff. And I love the scene they had where they were shooting like the Nerf guns at like the big nipple painting. I thought that was just really silly because they were shooting at a big nipple painting. It just looked funny. But I definitely enjoyed the episode. Of course, comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about it, your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. And now that we had this episode, we didn't get the brand new character. We got the other two supporting characters, and we got to see a lot more of them. It's the most we've really seen of them so far this season. What do you guys think about their characters? I know one character, she's come over from last season, so we're kind of already adjusted to her, but we got to know a lot more about Dan in this episode, or at least see some silly stuff out of him, like him sneaking through the guy's car and him somehow living in the house with the guys for a whole week, and they were freaking out that he'd kill him and stuff. But what do you guys think about their characters now that we've had this episode where we really get to see a lot out of them that we may or may not have already known, and mostly we knew in one person's case and then we didn't know in the other person's. But what do you guys think about the characters now that they've had their time to shine in this season? Comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.